She was choosing to close a chapter in her life that I was heavily involved in, making many of our private issues very public, and now millions and millions of people have weighed in with their opinions and speculations on subjects that they honestly know absolutely nothing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another new video. Today we're going to be making another video about the James Charles situation. And the reason why I have not been regularly posting about the drama and why I have not been talking about it as much, I made the two videos and then not address it anywhere further because I felt like there was a lot of information which was coming out and I didn't really get it. So I thought I'm gonna wait until James makes a video and then it'll be much more clearer what is actually happening. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So what I'm gonna be doing in this video is basically giving you guys a summary of what his video is about and what I think and what I've done and what I can, my own opinion about the whole scenario.
Against me because of these things, and I don't really feel comfortable just moving on from those. I would like to take this video today as an opportunity to kind of explain everything that has happened and address literally everything.
He was very clear about how everything happened, so I'm really happy that he did do that anyway. He starts talking about the sugar bear hair situation, and that was something which Tati did not express very clearly. What actually happened was when he went to Coachella's second week, he actually had a VIP pass instead of an artistry pass, which basically means he is open towards the public. The artistry pass is only a place where all influencers can be there and no other private people can be there basically.
We stopped to take a photo, kind of other people tend to come, and it just turned into a big situation, and it honestly was not safe. I had remembered from weekend one that my friend Nikita, Dragon, who I was with a lot of the time, was brought by Sugar Bear Hair and had an artist pass, personal security, and backstage passes, and was very taken care of and safe. Nikita replied right away, and she gave the Sugar Bear Hair team my personal phone number, to which they reached out to me.
And James does explain that he was very sorry to Tati and he had to do it because of the contract, and the reason why I said #ad is not because he got paid for it, but because of the cost for security. Now you can't think, what I would think is if he has so much money as he does have, he could have easily contacted another security which could hook him up and he could just pay that instead of having to make a brand deal, which I think is a bit skeptical. But at the same time, I'm assuming he got a bit stressed out and he didn't know what he was doing. But I'm pretty sure he was very sorry about it because he clearly did send long ass messages to Tati, and Tati eventually didn't respond, as well as her man James, because of how saddened they were by him. I hate pronouns.
Money. I am a 19-year-old virgin. I talk about boys quite a lot on my social media networks. Clearly at this point, it is not acceptable anymore. We're talking about that in a little bit, I promise you. But just thought I would bring it up, put it out into the universe. I don't really get a lot of action. We have probably guessed this at this point. So that being said, I have never and would never and will never use my fame, money, or power to manipulate or get any sexual actions from a guy. I'm going to tell you the full story since everybody seems to be leaving out literally every single detail. In Tati's video, she mentioned that she was disgusted and had to apologize to her family for me apparently saying things that I wanted to do to a waiter and then justifying those actions by saying I am a celebrity. Okay, this literally did not happen.
What happened was the guy apparently was bi.
A few minutes into the conversation, I asked him about his sexuality, and he told me straight up that he was bisexual.
Oh my God. You tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay.
There was no straight men being manipulated anywhere in the story like Tati mentioned.
James, really liked this guy and they got eye contact, and basically the waiter slid into his DMs afterwards because he wasn't able to talk to him because it was, in his contract that he can't have, these kinds of relationships with the people who are there by, eating food. I think this is one of the most strongest arguments which most people have against James, which is where, including myself, where we said that, he's going after straight men and, sexually assaulting them. But that's not actually the case because, he was actually bi. And that was, I think the waiter was actually the person who was the most predominant person who, made a lot of people react from Tati's video. For one thing I don't really understand is why he says he's a virgin when he's multiple times on his channel talked about how he's been on dating apps trying to look for men and trying to be with them and try to meet up with them, and every time he's talked about it as if it was a sexual encounter, and I just don't feel like you needed to lie about that. But I don't know why he would say he's a virgin because he's clearly not, but I don't know. So
in the hotel room was 100% consensual, and this is confirmed
I said yes.
by the only two parties that were actually there, being myself and Sam. Different friends for advice. There was one night in my kitchen where Tati, James, and Gabriel all came over, and I told them the same exact story and showed them the same exact screenshots that all of you guys just saw. After hearing this, like Tati said in her video, Tati and James actually did have a heart-to-heart conversation with me about the boys that I get involved with. They told me that talking to curious guys was going to continue to get me hurt, and that also it could look really, really bad from an outside perspective if somebody tried to manipulate the situation. And for me, this was a major, major wake-up call that I took to
one thing which I'm really happy is that he was actually self-reflecting, you know, when Tati and Zamora was actually talking to him in his kitchen. But the one thing which I still stand by today is the tweet which Zara Larson tweeted at James.
very dangerous stereotypes around the LGBTQ plus community. For example, Zara Larson, who's a pretty big singer, tweeted saying that I messaged her boyfriend multiple times knowing he was straight. And this tweet got almost 500,000 likes before it was deleted. In her defense, she did later on say that it was only one message, but it was way too late because the media had already ran with it, saying that I was harassing straight men and wouldn't leave him alone. Had I known that he was dating Zara Larson, I clearly never would have messaged him in the first place, but this is all very hypocritical considering this is how Zara Larson found her boyfriend. Why is it okay for Zara Larson, a woman with a public platform, to tweet these photos of a shirtless man and say, who are you, where do you live, how old are you, why are you so fine, and how do you like your eggs cooked in the morning? But for me as a gay man to DM the same person in private with a simple compliment is predatory. These stereotypes around gay men have been and continue to be very, very harmful to the community and have been historically used to villainize gay men in society.
I don't think it's really fair for Zara to say that because of the fact that Zara has actually been sexist towards men. And I did actually get, you know, a backlash on Twitter for saying that, but you know, a queen never lies.
Someone completely fabricated a whole entire story about me touching another boy in a high school urinal, and it blew up. This person came forward a few days later saying that it was a social experiment.
First intention was this person's lying, clearly. But then later on, this person continues to post screenshots, and the screenshots didn't directly seem like James, but it did kind of it didn't make sense because of the narrative that, you know, James is doing this, so therefore it makes 100% sense. So I was the one who believed in the lies, and the screenshot did look pretty real, to be honest. You have to be very critical with what you believe in, and you have to have facts behind what you believe in, because otherwise you're going to be believing a bunch of lies.
Hey, Nate's brother is single and mainly straight. Right up your alley.
Sounds good.
And he
Sounds great for me.
and he just moved here. Work.
Zach and I talked on Snapchat for maybe a total of 10 selfies back and forth to each other. He was super, super sweet, but it was very clear to me that he was not actually interested in flirting. Nothing ever happened between us, and when all this went down, I knew Jeffrey was lying because the twins were two of the first people to call me and make sure that I was okay. I wish I knew why he was doing all this, but at the same time, his track record with public feuds makes none of this a surprise. Tati made a video telling stories about me and publicly humiliating me, and now I have serious allegations against me that could be detrimental to my career.
And then James proceeds to talk about Jeffreestar's boyfriend's brother and how Jeffrey thinks that James should start talking to him. But you know, they didn't basically click. And basically Jeffrey had been making a lot of claims that he had been, you know, harassing this guy who was the waiter, someone else who I don't really exactly remember, but also his boyfriend's brother. So, and then also Grayson. The funny thing is that Grayson actually called up James directly when the hate started coming and saying, I hope that you're okay and everything. So, you know, it's pretty hypocritical, and you know, Jeffrey now is actually losing subscribers, also Tati. So I'm going to be talking about what I think about that towards the end of the video.
And the YouTube videos and the articles about me and my character and my family based on things that were almost all lies, an apology and a thank you. To my sisters, I'm sorry if I disappointed you, and I'm really sorry that you had to watch all this go down. You saw a side of me that I'm really not proud of and that I know I need to work on changing, and trust me, I will be. I recognize the fact that I haven't always been the best role model. The same thank you also goes out to all my influencer friends that reached out to me in private to make sure I was okay during all of this. When it felt like the entire world hated me it was really comforting to know that there were other people that understood the situation that were willing to show their love. I know who you are, you know who you are, and one day I'll make sure that all of you guys know who they are as well.
Does really talk about how basically Tati did not describe the full story and Jeffree just downright lying. Because he didn't actually have the full story, it was not fair towards James because of the way how they both treated them. Now, I obviously did make 2 videos, you know, attacking James, and I did actually attack him on Twitter. Still, what really triggered me was when there's still fan accounts which were supporting him despite people calling him a sexual predator. Now, I do understand that they were trying to be critical, and you know, that's something which I should have thought about. And you know, while this video is being made, I'm actually apologizing to all the fan accounts which I did actually go and attack. And the reason I did was because I thought, you know, it was disgusting to follow a, you know, and to, you know, support a public figure which does have these accusations behind them. With that being said, I do think that a lot of these fan accounts are, you know, very heavily influenced by James and, you know, have a very not toxic attitude, but a very, not very, you know, openness attitude. They're very, you know, exclusive to James, and that's up to them. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, everybody can improve, including myself and also the fan accounts. With that being said, I do really appreciate James making this video and actually being open about it and actually, you know, talking from his heart. And, you know, I don't know really what more to say, because I really just think that because Tati is such a respected figure in the community, I just felt like it's only right to believe her. But now reflecting, I feel like, and this is probably going to be very controversial, but because Tati's a woman, women tend to typically take things very quickly. They make quick thoughts, draw conclusions very quickly. And because of the fact that James did this thing with the sugar bear hair, and because probably they didn't used to talk as much as they used to, because now James is getting more famous and he obviously doesn't have as much time to talk to Tati. So she drew 2 and 2 things together and assumed that, oh, because we're not talking as much, that is because he doesn't give a shit anymore. But maybe the fact was actually that James actually, you know, is just getting more successful and he needs to put down more time on his content because he does have a bigger audience. But yeah, I think that definitely Tati did take things literal and she did base her facts on emotions, which is not always the best way. So I really do think that that was also a reason why I should have understood. But you know, it's not really my fault because I don't really know Tati too well. I've always watched James. I've known about Tati, but I've known Tati just as much as like Jacqueline Hill. Like, I barely know them. I've known James first, and then it's all these other influencers. Jeffreestar I've also known for a while. My personal opinion is that James is most likely right, whereas some of the things he did say wasn't entirely true. Like, but they were like minor details, like him being a virgin and the thing with the sugar bear hair. But he did apologize for the sugar bear hair, and the thing with the virgin or not, I don't think it's really relevant if he is or not. I think that but the most important claim which he did address was the thing with the straight abusing thing, and I'm gonna definitely think about that. And I'm gonna apologize to James if you're watching this, which you probably are not, but you know, I do apologize, and I hope that you do actually, you know, recover your career. I was not intending to spread hate. I just felt like it really did, you know, hurt me that somebody with such a big platform is able to do this behind you know, screens, and you know, it really just triggered a reaction. I'm pretty sure most people can say that as well. But I do think that it's I'm not even I'm not gonna be over dramatic here, but I'm really happy that you did make this video. You did address it, not because for your own, you know, good, but also because you're giving an explanation and something, you know, so that people can, you know, make their own opinion. Because I think that everybody deserves to talk and, you know, have their own side of the story. Because there, as you said on Twitter, there's always 2 sides to every story. And with that good note, I'm going to end this video here. And I really do hope that everybody has a nice day. And as always, spread love, not hate. And with that being said, take care, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.